Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for joining us for episode 13 of the Chel Stars podcast. We have a fun episode planned for you today. We're going to be talking about some reverse retro stuff, going over the Canucks, Wild Flyers, see how they're doing this season, and then we're going to do a little recap of our week one in fantasy. We're missing Mikey this week, unfortunately, but we still got Max, Aaron, Corey, and myself, and we are stoked to get going. Over to you, Max.
Well, thank you. I think you're the most stoked to be here with that intro. That was great for your first time. Welcome back, everyone. So, as usual, we're going to just go over a quick little news recap. Obviously, compared to the summer, where it's mostly going over the signings, this time around, it's just going to be mostly injuries. We got three pretty key injuries. None more than, actually all three of them are pretty key, but Matt Murray, starting with him, I believe he's out. Well, who knows how long he's out. He obviously got put right onto the LTIR after what seemed to be some sort of groin or injury that he suffered at practice. So it's a pretty big blow for the Leafs, who at the time only had, I think it was like two goalies on their whole, franchise,
roster.
Team, roster. There you go. Like that actually were under an NHL contract. The rest were pretty much injured or in Europe, so that's pretty rough for them. Anyone have any thoughts on that? It's a pretty big blow for them.
Yeah, so just to confirm there, it is his adductor injury, so that is hip, which is pretty bad for a goalie. And it's minimum 4 weeks he's going to be out for, at least. But again, that's a pretty serious injury for a goalie to have to rehab from, so it definitely could be a bit longer.
Yeah, it's bad when they just say minimum.
Yeah, exactly. That's a goalie who last year, or even just the last couple of years, has dealt with a lot of injuries. So, with it being minimum 4 weeks, I think this could easily go longer, unfortunately, to say that. But the Leafs did know what they're getting into with this signing, or this trade, I should say. So they'll have to really pull their weight here with, Ilya Samsonov, and I believe it's Eric Kallgren in there.
It's actually Samsonov now.
Oh, is it Samsonov?
Yeah, he has to be called Samsonov from now on. Just so you know.
Okay, there you go. You learned something.
Yeah, they're in a situation with their goaltending, but it's not like they weren't in a situation before.
No, God. No.
They just had two kind of NHL goalies. Now they only have one. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a quote from their coach here being like, quote, "That's the reason why we signed two guys," as in our goalies are going to get injured. But I mean, I feel like I don't think he planned for that. Like, that's just kind of bizarre.
yeah, like as much as you plan for injuries, you don't plan to lose somebody for minimum 4 weeks, potentially the whole season. And they don't really have a third stringer like Kallgren will do okay, but
No, yeah, after that, it's, the college, pick up, really.
getting David Ayers.
Oh, that would be quite the storyline.
Yeah. Unfortunate for Murray. Like the worst start possible, and it'll be hard to bounce back from that. He's probably feeling good after training camp and preseason, so that's a tough one for Murray and the Leafs.
Yeah. So moving on here to a fellow team in the Atlantic, team that made some big noise in the offseason with obviously the trade of Tkachuk for Huberdeau and Weegar. Ekblad now unfortunately getting injured pretty early into the season, and I believe he's out for around 6 weeks minimum or so with a groin injury. A guy who's also suffered numerous lower body injuries before, almost every season now for the last couple, so it's a big blow for a D-core that was, really, leaning on Ekblad being that guy to carry them, and for a team that obviously wants to compete as well.
Yeah, I guess like the only silver lining here is it's not season ending and it's not a recurring injury, so good maybe, but also you're still losing the guy that was supposed to carry your whole team. I mean, he was playing like 25 minutes a night, and they don't have anybody that can fill that spot.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, who's their second defenseman behind? Like, who's their second best defenseman?
I mean, it's probably a toss-up between Forsling and that Montour. But even so, that's not great.
It's been that Ekblad-Weegar combo for so long. Like, they've been so heavily relied on. Now they have neither of them. That's going to be a very different look in Florida.
Brutal.
Shockingly,
though, Bobrovsky's still playing all right.
Don't jinx it now.
Oh boy, why'd you say that? You have him in fantasy.
Yeah, but he's on my bench, so he can just keep on playing the same way, and I still won't start him.
Jesus. Yeah. So yeah, moving on here to pretty much someone who already knew he was going to be out for a little bit. I don't know if we knew he would be out for this long necessarily, though. And that's Gabriel Landeskog, who just had knee surgery, I believe, and will be out for, well, roughly 12 weeks. But who's to say that isn't going to be longer? Kyle, you're the Avs fan here.
Yeah, it's an injury that happened at the end of last season, and I think he played through it during the playoffs. And I guess he was hoping that it would just fix itself, but had to go the surgery route. Yeah. So definitely sucks. Thank goodness that we have the depth to be able to handle that. But if our injuries start piling up, then it could get a bit ugly for a little while. But
at least get it done early in the season. Hopefully he can rest up and obviously be back for what they can, you guys are hoping for another big playoff run.
Oh, exactly.
This is the second surgery he's had on this knee, though, I believe, in this year. So, I mean, you hope this one takes, but that could be a rough recovery.
Yeah, like you were talking about with Ekblad, not a recurring injury. This seems to be a recurring injury, so definitely a bit troublesome for a guy that plays a really physical game and is just starting a new contract. So, just hoping that. Just hoping that they can start to manage those injuries a bit better for him, and hopefully he can have an easy rest of the regular season and then just work his ass off in playoffs.
Yeah. Corey, any thoughts on all of these?
No, pretty much what you guys said. Yeah, it'll be a test for Florida with Ekblad being out, and same as Colorado. They're now without Landeskog. They're starting the year as a different look. Sorry, I said Colorado. They're starting the year with a different looking team than how they ended last year. So it'll be kind of a test to see what they can do. So far, they look like they've been all right.
Yeah, the good thing with Colorado is they have so many people to fill in those spots, unlike Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the other thing with Colorado is the injuries always pile up. Like, always so many injuries. So, we will see.
Yeah, I mean, you'll just have to wait and see on that part. Right now, it's looking good with a lot of your stars healthy, but...
Knock on wood. There you go.
There you go.
I think the worst part of, like, everything so far is if we wanted to do an hour-long episode on injuries, we probably could. Like, there's been so many injuries,
I mean,
which is to be expected, but like I think it feels like there's more than there were last time. Like I've lost half of my defensemen in fantasy due to injuries, like, which we'll get into later, but that's that.
Yeah, these were obviously the main key ones. There's obviously lots of little ones here and there. And unfortunately, as the NHL game as is nowadays, there's just so many, and unpredictable, really.
Yeah, exactly. There was other exciting news that came out today, though. NHL released all of the reverse retro jerseys. So, personally, I think that most of them are just gorgeous jerseys. But we wanted to talk about a bit of our favorites and also talk about some of the ones that were more disappointing to us. So I'll start with my favorite, and that was the Coyotes jersey. Um, they can't put an NHL team on the ice, but man, they can make some nice jerseys.
It's gonna be looking
Yeah,
great in their 5,000 arena barn.
yeah, those 5,000 fans are gonna be so impressed. But I don't know how, like they're just so good at making jerseys. They, they're just willing to use colors that other teams don't use. And so nice.
I think they're just one of the ones too that are risking it with like designing like, something other than just the stripes on the bottom. Like they have these, cool little designs that mean something.
That's so true. Yeah, they're
Rather
not
than
just
stripes, and we'll get into that.
yeah, they're just throwing stripes everywhere.
God, these stripes.
Some of these guys. Yeah, so I like the Yotes jersey. That's probably one of my favorites. Corey, what do you have for your favorite?
For the jersey, I really liked Edmonton's oil drop that they brought back with the new colors. Fun fact: that jersey, I think I want to say like 2003, was designed by artist Todd McFarlane, who drew the Spawn series. If there's any like comic fans out there, Spawn, and he also drew Venom for a little bit. So I think he's an Alberta native. So they had him design this logo, and I've always liked it. And it's kind of sweet to see them bring it back with a little kind of that orange touch. So I went with Edmonton.
I gotta say that was an awesome fun fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, 2001 is when that first oil drop jersey came out.
Okay, 2001. Yeah.
But yeah, that's so sick. Good stuff. That was definitely like a jersey that's just like imprinted in my head from playing NHL games when I was little. You'd always like go and choose the alternate jersey because it was always the coolest, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah, Edmonton's was sick. Aaron, did any of them stand out to you?
Yeah, so my favorite jersey was the Florida one, mainly because of the color scheme. I think it's just the colors go together so beautifully. It's so bright. It's so unique. I also it's giving me like Miami Beach / kind of like an NBA vibe. Like, I don't know, it's just very unique to hockey, and I just love that they went somewhere a little bit differently with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's definitely got that Miami Vice teal to it, right? Like I could have.
The blue is just gorgeous. I love it. I'm not a Florida Panthers fan, but I would probably buy this jersey just because of the colors.
Yeah, I would have loved if they would have mixed in a little bit of that Miami Vice pink in there too.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Maybe next time.
So one thing we haven't really seen on NHL jerseys, any pink being used.
Yeah, and I've only seen purple like Kings and
Arizona.
And Arizona,
Yeah,
obviously.
purple always looks really good. I feel like you're right.
It does.
Pink would definitely be a good addition.
The pink would have popped. Yeah.
I think out of all the jerseys, though, I'm most interested to see like the helmet and pants combo for the Florida jerseys, because this might, make it even better.
Right.
Did they release the pant combo for it yet?
No, I don't think so.
Just imagine they go pink pants. Oh, I think that would clash with the orange, but
so it's gonna be orange pants then.
probably.
Oh Jesus.
The pants
would be something
make
else
or break
as well.
the jersey.
Yeah. Yeah. And Maxwell?
I'm going with another Florida State team here. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Purely just because I just really liked almost like kind of the teams that go a little bit out there with the little designs. It's a reverse retro jersey. You're supposed to have fun with it. Be a little creative. I think these jerseys on the ice will look really nice. Got the lightning bolts really pretty much throughout the jersey. I really like the font on the side there, and the original logo as well. So I think they did a bang job on this.
Yeah, that one looks good. Kind of like what Kyle said. I used to always want to pick that one playing like NHL games.
Yeah,
It's got like there's like rain on it. There's like lightning. There's I don't know if this one has. I remember the old one had like ocean waves on the bottom.
This
It
one
just looked
does,
like-
yeah.
This
It
one
does.
This
is.
one that has.
And the shoulders are gray like clouds.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
There you go.
it's amazing.
Damn. The
Yeah.
attention to detail is just awesome in some of these.
Honestly, you got a full like oil painting on your jersey right there.
Awesome. And then we had some that we were kind of disappointed with. We thought the teams could do more with like their color schemes and their history of jerseys. Max, who did you have in your you wanted to see more from them list?
I have the Columbus Blue Jackets. I just don't think it's really much different than their current jersey. Like, it's very black and blue jersey, with this new design. There's a few stars on the very end there, but for the most part, you're not really going to see that. It's going to be tucked in with the gloves or the elbow pads. I don't know. Just kind of very boring jersey.
Yeah, it is kind of like they're obviously using one of their older logos, which is pretty cool, but yeah, they didn't really do much, eh?
It's just very similar, especially to I don't remember the exact design, but it's pretty similar to their other reverse retro jersey from the other, last year, I believe.
Yeah, like I wouldn't call it a bad jersey, it's just not a
Exactly, yeah.
exciting
Doesn't stand
jersey,
out.
right? It's very safe.
Yeah,
Very
I
safe
think I
pick.
can speak
Whereas
on behalf of like all of us that we don't really hate most of these. It's really just that some of them disappointed us.
yeah, exactly. And because they could have gone a different direction with it too. Like when they first came into the league, their jerseys were like some of my favorites, just with like that like random like CBJ logo that they had and stuff.
Oh
Like
yeah.
like those were nice jerseys. They could have done something fun with that, but or even when they had that, do they still wear the jersey with the big gun on it?
That's kind of like their alternate. It's like the cannon.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess with Columbus last year they used that old CBJ logo then made it red instead.
Yeah,
Did they have a jersey with a B on it at one point?
they did.
Oh, Columbus, the Stinger,
like
yeah.
The Stinger,
With a
yeah.
jacket on it, like a what are
Was
they
it
called? A yellow
was it
jacket?
only on the
Oh.
shoulders or was it like the main logo?
It was the main logo, and it had. Oh no, you're right. It wasn't the main logo, but it had the neon green.
Yeah,
That,
yeah,
that bright neon green. That one was cool.
that would have been really exciting if they did that.
Yeah, they should bring that back for sure. Yeah, they used to have the bug. Now it's like more of like more of a military vibe now, but they used to have that like cartoon bug. It was awesome.
Yeah. Love that guy. Yeah. I wonder if that's their mascot. What's their mascot?
No, that's their mascot.
It's
yeah.
their mascot. Yeah.
Oh, it is?
It's Stinger.
Just have their mascot post on the front of their jersey. I wouldn't hate
Stinger.
that. Yeah.
Oh, Stinger, I knew it.
But is that his name?
Yeah, it's his name. That's hilarious.
Aaron, which one were you wanting more from?
Yeah, so the one I was most disappointed with here was the Flyers jersey. For pretty similar reasons, they just didn't really do much. There's so much white space on the jersey, and I feel like one of my biggest like pet peeves with these like alternate reverse retro kind of jerseys is when they use the exact same logo as their normal jersey. There's no color change, there's no alternate jersey, it's just like a copy paste. So I would have liked something a little more unique from them. I do like the sleeves, the design is pretty cool, but just the whole main part of the jersey is very plain. Their one saving grace, however, is, I know you guys have seen this post already, that they're going to wear their long pants. What are they called? The Cooperalls? The Cooperalls during the warm-up. That makes the look a little bit better. But overall, yeah, not super excited about these jerseys.
Here's a fun fact about the Flyers. They've only ever had one logo, and they've never had any other logo, even on like
Yeah,
the
I was
shoulders or
trying
anything.
I was trying to look up like different logos, like, oh, why didn't they do something else? And I was finding the same thing. Like, they've been
just always the
very
same.
loyal to this logo.
Very loyal. What is a Flyer?
Like a pilot, isn't that their thing? They're pilots.
Oh, okay.
Is that it? Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't. That's what.
Corey, you're probably right. I just
He's got the fun
never
back, so yeah.
I just never really gave much thought into what a flyer is.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're gonna have the exact same logo, like fair, you don't have another different one. At least change the colors on it. I mean, you got to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. What did they use last year for? They went with the orange. They have a black
Last
already.
year was a
It
really
looks
bad
good
one.
though. Their jersey looks really good.
Phillies?
Yeah, like the retro. Yeah, it's not different, but it still looks really
Yeah.
nice.
You're a big fan?
I'm a fan. I think Philly has a nice, one of the nicer designs in the league, just in general.
Oh, just in general with like their regular
Yeah.
jerseys. Yeah, just
hmm
classic, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a nice thing is they stuck with it and it works. Um, Corey, what was you wanted more from?
Oh, yeah. Looking at the jerseys, Chicago and Detroit, I went with, um, which seems to be kind of some common thoughts as well. They're just super plain. There's no logo for either of them. It's just horizontal script, and they both look like the same. They're red and black, and Chicago has a bit of white on it. I don't know. They're just really, yeah. They just are like there's classic, and then there's like these ones. And Detroit's one was kind of the same last year. So I think with Chicago, I almost it's so bad that I'm at the point wondering like maybe they have a better design that they would rather market like if it once they get Bedard and actually have a good team, and maybe they want to spend their like money on advertising like then when people actually want to buy it. Honestly,
That's
it's
not a
so
bad
bad. That's
point.
right.
That
Like
You're
that's what I'm
saying
thinking.
that's actually an
Well, because
outstanding
eventually they're gonna
point,
run out of ideas
given the
for these
fact that every
jerseys.
single player on this team is going to be off the team in 3 years, other than
Right?
Seth Jones.
so you're saying
Right?
they're tanking for advertising too.
Yeah, it's conspiracy for the
They're
reverse
tanking
retros.
everywhere.
Yeah, but
It's
then I
like
look at
the
what's that?
I was gonna say it's like the early 2000s Chicago Blackhawks all over again, just tanking
but
everything.
but then Detroit, it doesn't make sense why theirs is so bad. It's they have a good team that they should be trying to sell jerseys right now.
Yeah,
So I
whoever
don't
designs these
know.
jerseys really doesn't like Detroit. I mean, if you guys remember their one last year, it was that like practice jersey looking one that was like all white
Yeah.
with like two little gray stripes
Just-
on it. Just
Just
they have so
horrible.
much
Yeah.
potential. They're such like a historic team, and they just never deliver.
They had a Stadium Series one a few years ago with like
Oh,
it had
yes.
white. You know what I'm talking about? White gloves, and then it kind of had like a white, like ascending triangle up the sleeves that looked really cool.
Yeah.
I know.
And they had a few nice kind of winter classic jerseys.
No doubt. And this is the first Detroit jersey that has ever had black on it. It's always just been red and white.
Mm.
So
Fun
interesting
fact.
choice.
Or gray. They've had gray.
Oh, great. Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right.
Yeah, but anyways, we should mention that or no, Kyle, you haven't said your most disappointing yet.
I got mine. Yeah. I was super. I mean, not like disappointed, but I just mine's Colorado. I just think that they're really overusing that like C logo and
Mm,
like there's cool aspects to the design, but I really wanted to see like something different. Like last year's Nordique one was just so good. I think no matter what they brought out this year was going to disappoint me. But I know myself and a lot of other Avs fans want them to bring back like the Sasquatch logo that they used to have, and I would have loved to see something kind of surrounding that, because they've kind of beat this Colorado Sea with the sun in the middle logo to death the past 3-5 years. So that's my opinion
right.
there.
Hmm.
Also, quick shout out to the San Jose logo. I also really love that logo. Or I guess that jersey, just
Yeah.
working off the old California seals, which I really like. So Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We should mention the Canucks with bringing back the Johnny
Oh,
Canuck
Oh yeah.
logo.
I was going to ask you guys that. What do you guys think of that? Scale of 1 to 10. Where do you rate that jersey?
Oh God.
I'd give it a 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, probably about
I
the same for me.
I kind of prefer the Sprite can personally.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this jersey. Like it was one of my favorites too. Like that off-white color, that like cream color that they're using instead of white. Like I think teams need to do that, more of that.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I super like that color scheme and everything.
It's got a classic look to it. Yeah.
I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
Maybe 7,
Okay.
8 for me.
Aaron?
Pretty solid though.
Yeah, about a 7 for me too. The coloring's
Okay.
really nice, but I don't know. It's a little too stripy.
Yeah, actually that is the one knock on it, is really
I think
stripy.
maybe one less stripe. I don't know. But like the Johnny Canuck logo is so nice. Like you can't go wrong with that one.
Well, there's okay on the bottom of the jersey. Yeah, there's 4 stripes: beige, green, beige, green.
I don't know where you're seeing beige, Kyle. It looks so white to me in this photo.
Is it?
I don't know.
Maybe it's the lighting on the only photo I'm looking at.
Maybe.
Are you sure? See,
No.
it looks beige to me.
If only it glue in the dark.
Yeah, shout out to Vegas for the glow in the dark jerseys.
Yeah, I gotta take points off for that.
Oh, really? I was gonna add points for that.
No, the Canucks, if it doesn't glow in the dark.
Oh,
I
if it
have
doesn't
to
glow in the
take
dark.
points off. Yeah.
Imagine they should do a glow in the dark series
Oh,
That would actually be pretty cool.
jeez.
and just play
You know
hockey
what?
in the dark.
We're gonna get to a point where Vegas.
in the dark
We're gonna get to a point where Vegas has like a battery pack in their jersey, and for
has
pregame,
speakers.
the players light up their logo.
And all the
And then-
fans get it and someone catches on fire.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
we're probably
surprised.
not too far off. Yeah, honestly.
That's awesome. Anything else you guys want to say about the retro jerseys?
I think just overall, way better job this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than Colorado's.
It's still not like
few
as bad
others.
as some of the ones were last year.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they did definitely better this year.
Yeah.
As long as we can keep ads off the jerseys, I'm happy.
That's true. That's true. It's
Uh,
if they're gonna and I like what like the NBA does. I know we were talking about this like a few episodes ago, but I love what the NBA does about all like the different series jerseys they bring out. Like this stuff's awesome. Like do more of this, because people like me will just spend money on this stuff.
Honestly.
I won't be buying this one, but if they ever bring that Sasquatch logo back, put it right on front and center. Oh, I'd buy like 3 of those. Cool. Let's skip on into player trivia. So first off, we will cover the trivia that we had on the good old Instagram page the other day. Shout out to some of the people I work with, Zach and Willem, for guessing right. The answer was, in fact, one of the best goalies in the league, UC Saros.
Nice. Good job, Zach and Willem.
Absolutely. Big time proud of them. And that will lead us into this week's trivia as well. Oh, also, Max, give it a Pat update as well about.
Oh, last week's, yeah. Well, I'll also say with the Saros one, he was able to guess it. I believe. Well, he took a few guesses to get it true. He was thinking it was Demko, but he did
Okay.
get Saros eventually.
Yeah, that's good.
But with the other ones, he was able to get, Brian Campbell, as well as Sergei Gonchar. I believe he got it just after Corey,
I thought it was ahead.
or was it just ahead?
I believe it was just a bit faster.
Ooh, I'm
Like
blanking now.
Like the picture that you sent said that he got the Gonchar one right before Corey.
Okay, then yeah, it was just before.
But now, is it before I said Gonchar or is it before I said I got it? Because I said I got it first.
Corey-
I got
Corey-
it doesn't count. You have to
Corey,
say the
you
name.
still
Mikey.
get the point for it.
Okay, well then I'm gonna say it as soon as I know it. Then at this time.
That's perfect. Oh, no. Just note when you, yeah.
Okay, well then I'll note, but then that's when I want you to stop the time.
Yeah, no, that's when we'll stop the time, because last time you said, oh, I got it, and then you said, wait, I don't know if I got it, and then you needed an extra hint, I think.
We'll have to check the tape.
Yeah, we'll check the tape. Either way, Corey, great job last week.
Okay.
Controversy
sure.
on Trivia Tuesday.
I want to make sure we're in the right times here.
Okay, so Corey, you say got it, and then that's when your timer stops, and then we'll get the update from Pat again.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if I have it. I just have a guess. I don't want to withhold my guess until
no.
What if it's wrong? I can make a new guess.
Absolutely, but we're working off that honesty here. We're playing the honesty game. If you're like, oh, I got it, and then you have to change your guess, and then you get it right with the new guess, then we'll just honor.
You gotta number your got it's. You got it.
Yeah.
When do you want me to guess?
At the end, but I want you to say got it as soon as you got it.
At the end of all the clues.
At the end of the clue, you can say got it, but at the end of all, at the end of every single clue that I made up, yeah, then you get to guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully I get the right name then.
If you don't, then that's fine.
No. I just won't know. If I don't. All right. Well, okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Ready for player number 1?
Yeah.
Okay. This player was drafted 7th overall in the 2003 draft by a team that hadn't made the playoffs in their 5-year history.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Any inklings? Nothing?
Take that as a no.
That draft is too deep.
Yeah.
This player won a silver medal in the 2010 Olympics.
Oh, no.
Anything? Nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a guess.
You have a guess? Okay. So got it? Potentially got it?
Yeah, potentially got it.
Okay. Now if you have to change your guess at all, that's totally fine, but it's a new got it.
Okay.
Okay. This one I think will really blow it wide open. Wait, did I never... Oh, yeah. Okay. This player's contract was bought out in the summer of 2021, despite the fact that he had 4 years left on his 13-year deal.
Okay.
Okay.
Max might got it too.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Corey?
I'm changing my guess to a new one.
Okay.
And I think I have it.
Okay. Aaron?
Yeah, I don't got it yet.
Okay. This one I think will help out. In his early years in the league, this player created a dynamic defensive pairing with Shea Weber. How about now, Aaron?
Sorry?
How about now? Wait, did you guys hear the hint? The last one?
We heard
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, we heard
Okay. Did that help?
Not
No,
me.
now I'm on
Now Corey's more
a different.
I'm sticking with my first got it.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Or did you need me to repeat any of the hints?
No.
Was
Okay.
that the
Okay,
final hint, Kyle?
Sorry?
Was that the final hint?
That was the final hint.
All right, so let's see if Max got it.
Or did Corey's first got it, or what are we doing?
Corey seemed to be changing his answer, so I wasn't too sure there.
Yeah.
Or-
I don't.
Corey, what was your first guess?
Yeah.
2003 draft and
Yeah.
silver medal.
Did you say? Well, okay, silver medal in 2010, so he has to be American.
Yep.
I was thinking. I had RJ Umberger. That's who I was thinking. I was thinking Columbus.
Whoa.
I was thinking Columbus.
Oh, okay. You're close.
And
Yes.
and then
But
I'm
it's
close
not
with what?
Columbus.
It's not Columbus. So then,
It's not Columbus, but it was an expansion team.
but then you said 13-year contract.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I thought you said 7th overall, right?
Yeah.
No, I was thinking. Was it Luongo with Florida? But then no, he was drafted by the Islanders.
And he just retired, right?
Yeah, defenseman.
Luongo's not a defenseman.
Yeah, and then the defenseman for Nashville was Shea Weber. Like, no, is it
American defenseman.
American defenseman? Yeah, because I was like Kimmo Timonen is like someone I was thinking of. I don't know why I can't. Played with Shea Weber. It's probably someone that I'll be like, oh.
Max.
Is it Atlanta?
Is it who?
Atlanta?
No, it's Nashville.
I believe it is Ryan Suter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
Ryan
contract
Suter.
gave it completely away.
I didn't know his contract was that long.
Oh, him and Parise,
Yeah.
13-year deals.
Right.
Jeez.
I was kind of like playing around, or not playing around with it, but I was worried that people would think it was Parise. That's why I put like
I mean,
how long the team's been. Yeah, well, and that's exactly it, right? But that's why I kind of put how long the franchise had been.
Yeah, I think that's what threw me off,
active.
is that I'm just not, like, I don't know when a franchise started. I was trying to think of every American defenseman I could have thought that would have been on that team, but geez.
Yeah.
Good hints again,
That's
Kyle.
fair.
Nice.
Thank you. I put way too much time
Very
into this.
detailed.
It's actually shameful the amount of times I have like done 3 hints and been like, this isn't good enough. Race it all.
Jeez.
Choose a new player. Some players are just really boring. Okay.
So we got a harder one now.
This one's for Corey and for Pat.
Yeah, I'm out.
For Corey and for Pat. You know what? I'm not going to do the original one. I thought I'm going to do my backup because I think this one will go well.
Okay.
All right.
Oh boy.
Ready, guys?
Yeah.
This is the Pat player hint.
So hang on, I can say it whenever I get it this time, or no?
You can say got it, but I want to read out all the hints that I worked really hard on.
all right.
And if
Don't spoil it.
and if our listeners don't got it, I want them to be able to guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. We want our listeners to play along.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This player signed a contract with the Detroit Red Wings in 2011, but was claimed by the Islanders in re-entry waivers.
Oh, I've heard about this. Oh no.
No got it.
No.
Not yet.
This season, this player played a total of 3 seasons with the Islanders before finishing his career with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
3 seasons with New York
seasons.
Islanders.
Exactly. Do you want me to tell you what his last year in the NHL was, or like what season it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be great.
I didn't have it written down. His last season in the NHL was the 2014-2015 season.
He played for Detroit before then, or no?
He signed with Detroit, but was claimed by the Islanders on re-entry waivers.
Oh. Re-entry.
That first hint is throwing me here.
Hint number 3. This player is the winningest Russian goalie in NHL history. So far, we have Islanders goalie for 3 seasons and finished his career with the Lightning.
How many seasons with the Lightning?
he played one season with the Lightning, but he only got action in 11 games.
So he's the winningest Russian goalie in 3 and a little bit seasons. That's pretty impressive.
No.
No.
I got it. Tricky.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. He's the winningest Russian goalie. How do I even answer this? So focus on the re-entry part of the first hint. Okay. Hint number 4. Wait, Max no got it?
No.
Still a stumper? Okay.
Still, yeah.
Okay, hint number 4. This goalie's most memorable seasons came in teal, where he won a Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year in 2001, and a total of 291 games over 9 seasons with the Sharks.
Jeez.
No got it.
Now I'm understanding why you couldn't explain that question from before.
Exactly.
But I still have no guesses.
Fair enough.
I might have got it, but
Okay, Max. What's actually Corey? You had the got it first. We'll play the honesty game, but I want to hear Max's guess.
oh, my guess?
Yeah, Max.
I could be completely off here, but I'm just trying to think of like anyone that played for the Sharks, and then also the whole Islanders, like Nabokov.
Where was that? Your guess?
Yeah, Evgeny Nabokov.
Okay.
Yeah. Evgeny Nabokov.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
That one I was really proud of. That one I thought were great hints because it kind of threw you off the first hint with yeah, because like, oh, we only played 3 seasons or 4 seasons like Aaron was saying, but no, re-entry waivers because
Smart.
Because he I think he had a contract dispute with the Sharks, or just wanted to go back to Russia, so he went back and played for St. Petersburg and then came back the year after and tried to sign with Detroit because Detroit was a wagon back then, and the Islanders claimed on re-entry waivers, and the Islanders were not so good. And I don't think he was super stoked at first to go to the Islanders, but then he obviously ended up signing for 2 more seasons. So awesome. Good stuff, Corey. Good stuff, Max.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Thank you. Yeah, that was some good players and good hints.
Perfect. I'll add that to the list and take away the next one, Corey.
Yeah, let's get into some recent news. We talked about our trivia and our jerseys. Now, what the hell is wrong with the Canucks? They've blown 5 straight leads now. They're 0-3-2. Doesn't matter. They're 0-5. Let's be honest. Winless, the only winless team in the league, as we just handed the Wild their first win. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's only 5 games, but what a sad start. There was a lot of hype. Boudreau was back, keeping the team more or less the same, just getting a little bit better, and they start out the year. Granted, they're on the road, but still, and it's the way they've done it. Blowing the leads, like the third period multi-goal leads, it's hard to do what they're doing. So I don't know what to tell you, but fans are not too thrilled. Max, you watched the game tonight. What are your thoughts on this team right now?
Oh man, I mean, it's hard to really even put into what's happening. I've watched since our last podcast. I've been able to watch all the games except for the one against Philly on Saturday. And I don't know, they look good out there. First period, they always goes their way. But just second period, just structurally, like in their defensive zone, they just have breakdowns, and they just allow too many, high danger chances. And poor Demko is just getting hung out to dry. I don't think really any blame can be put on him at all. It's just, defensive lapses. You're not covering your guy. You're puck watching. Too many careless penalties. Your penalty kill is not good. So of course, if you take too many penalties, you're going to get scored on. So it's just a bit of everything. It's just kind of, as Bruce Boudreau put it after I think it was the fourth game, they're mentally weak right now. And I think that kind of sums it up right now. And the more this is happening to them, the more it's kind of getting in their heads. And every time they have a lead, especially a multi-goal lead, and the other team scores one and they're one back, they're like, oh, here we go again. So, I don't know. Aaron, you were watching the game with me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you just said. And the only thing I would really add is just what is going on with Miller.
Oh.
Like, he is just brutal to watch so far. I feel like I barely noticed him. Like, he's obviously not getting any points, but I'm not noticing him doing any of the small things either. Like, usually you think when a player is struggling to score or whatnot, maybe they're going to become a little more aggressive instead, throw some hits, whatever, try to be a little bit better defensively. But there's just no spark from him. You don't see any sense of, like, extra effort. And I know Max and I were watching the last couple overtimes, and just seeing him defend has just been very painful to watch. I know we posted a couple pictures on our Instagram. Go check it out. But he's stationary. He's passive. He looks tired. There's just so many chances where the other teams are just skating right around him and getting good shots on Demko. I don't know. I just feel like, especially from him, new contract, he should be one of the leaders on the team. I'd like to see a bit more second effort, because I mean the fourth line looked good this game.
They've looked good overall.
Just Pettersson has looked really good, but yeah, Miller has just been non-existent so far, in my opinion.
Who has Miller been playing with?
Well, they've kind of stuck to these first 5 games. They've stuck to Miller, Horvat, Pettersson down the middle. So the wings have been shuffling a lot.
Okay.
The one thing I would like to see is Miller and Pettersson reunited.
Yeah.
That might help put a bit of spark in his game again.
Yeah. I
I definitely agree. Get Besser going a little bit too. I don't know how his
Get that
start of the season was.
Besser's been all right, but most of the team has been, similar. Not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're winless, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No one's really putting the team on their back right now. Pettersson's doing all he can. He's really the only one that looks really good out there.
Mm-hmm.
Is this how Miller's always played?
I've always noticed a sort of, in certain instances, does seem to be like a lack of defensive effort. That has definitely happened in the past. But this has been the longest stretch that he's been, like, unnoticeable for very extended periods of time, 5-on-5.
Yeah,
Brutal.
like Aaron.
Last year he was like, you noticed him, right? Like, like his other players that weren't playing up to his standard.
Yeah, like Aaron's kind of alluded to, he kind of brings that little bit of a game to him. He's pretty physical. He likes to finish checks. He kind of just does a bit of everything for the Canucks. Or at least that was last year. Mm-hmm. This year, it's kind of like, you just don't notice him. And you can almost see that in his trust with the coaching staff. As last year, if they had an overtime, he would 100% be the starting, in the starting lineup for it. Both overtimes so far, he has been on the bench to start, and I think he usually gets one shift. And I think both those shifts he's been scored on, so it's kind of a tough place.
I think with Miller, like, he brings a lot of emotion to his game, and the team needs that, but I'm not necessarily sure he's the one you want to anchor your team around. Like, I think him coming in now, like signed the big contract, basically carried our team last year. He's probably more of a leader, or at least it's the team and him have taken upon himself for like him to be more of a presence in the room. But it's kind of double-handed. It's like he has so much emotion. Like when the team's losing, it's like his play is almost worse at times. Like Aaron said, like defensively, he just kind of like checks out.
And, checks out is a really good way to explain it. Actually, that's a really good term.
Right. So it's like, yeah, when we're doing good, he's all for it. But if we're in a slump, and it's like, I think it's really dependent on his highs and lows, where it's like we need a kind of a bigger presence, I would say, from like Horvat, who reminds me a lot of like Henrik when he was captain, just like very like calm and cool. And that's, I think, what they need to get out of this slump and just kind of like have, because also, like Aaron, as you were saying, like they're not playing bad per se. Like all of their games have been winnable. They haven't been blown out or crushed in any of these games. They just give up the lead. Like they're scoring goals. They're playing well. So they really, in theory, shouldn't have to change their game too much to rate the storm. You would think if they just kept playing the way they are, they should get a win. Not saying they shouldn't change anything. They definitely need to look at their defensive aspects, but I think just being Vancouver media and obviously the passionate fans that we are, blow it up a little bit. But they're also in a hard spot now. Their slump that every team goes through, it's like they've already taken it. So if they want to make the playoffs, they are behind the 8 ball and can't afford to make any more mistakes. So, in a what seems to be a very competitive Pacific Division, yeah, they now have to be that much better. So
you're totally right, Corey. If they're wanting to make the playoffs, they can't get any worse. They have to. No. They have to get better. Find a way to get better. So
it's like taking all your sick days in the first week of January. Like, they got there's no
gonna be a rough year ahead.
Yeah, that's right. It's grind time from now until the playoffs.
Yeah.
So yeah, not the best spot, but that's what the dice they rolled, I guess.
And again, it's only 5 games in, thankfully. If it's the same tune, but it's 10 games in, 15 games in, then stuff will start getting worse. So
yeah, so on that note, if we see it 10, 15 games in, I'll throw this question to Corey or Max. Do we see some sort of trade or big move made just to try to shake things up? And what would that be?
I mean,
Horvat.
You would go Horvat.
that would be a massive
That would be
trade.
huge.
No, I'm thinking it's got to be like a Garland or Hoglander, since they seem to be the ones that, last 2 games, they've each been the healthy scratch in one of them. And
I could see a Hoglander being moved. But it depends how big of a change they're looking for. I could see like a Besser being moved if you're talking a bit more of a bigger name or more kind of a core piece.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know it's probably too early to ask this, but on a scale of like 1 to 5, where is like 1 being cool, 5 being hot? Where is Bruce Bruto sitting right now?
Oh.
Like a 1 or 2?
He's like 2 right now. He's like 2.
2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
You can see whenever they score, get a goal against them, they pan to him every time. He has the same kind of pretty neutrally face. Nothing really.
That's going to be the worst.
See him yelling at players, so I think he's definitely pretty cool with, everyone behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I think Sheldon Keefe has a by far hotter seat right now.
Yeah.
Because they can't even afford to play even 500 right now, Toronto.
Yeah.
Basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't be losing to Arizona, that's for sure.
How about Boston going 4-1 in their first 5 games? That's
I was
impressive.
shocked with that, to be honest.
I'm
Like,
shocked.
I really thought losing Marchand and McAvoy and it would just be too much in their
Yeah.
tough division, but yeah, they have impressed me for sure.
Sorry to segue away from the Canucks. So I don't know if you guys had anything else to say.
I'm sure we could drone on for a while,
Yeah,
but it would
it's-
nothing would be positive about it. So we might as well move on.
Yeah, it's
That's fair.
early. They have their first home game on Saturday, so that'll be a start of something.
Either a
Yeah.
win or they might get booed off the ice.
Well-
Could go either way.
Miller might get booed a lot. We'll see. But yeah, back to Boston here. Losing their top 2 players for at least the first 2 months of the season, it, it's big. I mean, like in a very competitive division, where you have Ottawa, Detroit, competing for playoffs now, you can't really slip up, or else you're just playing catch up. We saw that with the Canucks last year.
And don't forget about Buffalo. Buffalo's right up there too.
Sneakily, yeah. I mean, that division's super competitive. So, with how they started, with Pasternak, Bergeron, Krejci coming over, their goaltending's been solid, defense has been solid. So, it's just an all-round effort with a new coach as well, with Montgomery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot they had a new coach. That's true,
Yeah.
actually. Jeez. Well, he's definitely not on the hot seat.
No.
Should be noted, too, that even missing their star player, Marchand, they're still first for goals per game right now in the NHL, averaging 5.25.
Pretty.
Obviously,
nuts.
that went down a
Holy.
little bit tonight, but that's still a pretty good start.
Damn. Wow. They could still be a contender if they can hold that together for a season.
I mean,
Interesting to see.
interesting, yeah. Still a long ways to go.
Oh, yeah.
Long ways to go. We got 70, 77, 78 more games.
Wait. So don't give Boston the cup yet?
Not yet.
Okay. We'll check back next week.
Okay.
What other teams you want to talk about, Maxwell?
Oh man, I mean, there's lots. I think we can definitely look at the Metro division right now. There's quite a few names or teams that really pop off the board to me. I think none other than Philadelphia, with how they've started under Torts this year. If I remember correctly, all of us predicted they finished last in the division. So,
And I think at least a couple of us predicted that Torts would be the first coach fired.
I mean, you
Because
did.
of a rough start. I don't think it was just me. Was it just me?
I have it. We still have it here. You and Mikey.
Okay, me and Mikey. Clearly we were wrong because whatever he's doing, somehow it is working, and I am shocked, but good for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have expected a media outburst by now, but well, there was kind of one in the preseason, right? He was screaming or something. There's
he was-
players lying on the ice looking
He
dead.
was just encouraging and motivating,
Encouraging.
loudly motivating.
If I remember, it was saying that there's no culture in the dressing room, but it seems to be changing that pretty quickly. If so,
Which, I mean,
Yeah,
that's not like a terrible comment. So, like,
no.
for all the things he could have
No.
said.
Well, especially looking at their last season, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not offside to say that or to assume that at all. And if there's somebody who can instill that within a preseason and 5 regular season games, it's probably Torts.
Hey, do you guys remember when Mike Babcock took over for Toronto? And I think it was like the media presser, and he told the fans that he's like, "There's pain coming," and then, like, what a way to just like that's such a good expectations for the season. Just tell your fans there's pain coming.
And then that was the season that they tanked for
No, they
McDavid,
actually.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or no, or it was the first
Or-
season with Matthews.
Or oh yeah,
It
yeah.
might have been the
But
first season.
but
Either way,
yeah.
he pretty much he was trying to set the fans up for the next for their next 8 years of
Of
playoff
first round
participants.
exits.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah,
That was just
And
his
that
quote about Matthews. There's Bane coming.
and,
yeah.
there's that year that the New York Rangers head office sent out the memo to their season ticket holders that was like, "We're gonna tank now. We're blowing this up."
At least they give them
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on from Philadelphia here, Corey, this one's for you. I came across a pretty interesting stat today about Philly's team, or at least their start this year. So they're 3-1-0. They've had a pretty good start game-wise. They are ranked 32nd for face-off wins. Last place. So, if face-offs do matter, how are they winning so many games?
It's so early. They could win. They could win 10 face-offs and be up at the top in the face-offs. So
It's true.
Small
sample size.
small sample size.
Not emphasized? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you in a
Well,
week.
last
I'll tell you
year-
if it's changed or not.
Yeah. Let's keep that going.
Keep an eye on that. It's pretty good. Yeah, sticking in the Metro here, we have Pittsburgh, who I don't think anyone would have expected them to go off to a flying start. They're 3-0-1, but 20 goals for.
Jeez.
And it's a pretty combined effort. Crosby, Gensel, Malkin, all being healthy right now, and they're all contributing. So you hope you can. They're hoping they can all stay healthy because they're, definitely enjoying it over there right now, and but with them so injury prone, it's unfortunate that something might happen soon.
Jeez, way to put a negative spin on their success.
Wow. They have a lot of injury prone
They do.
players, so you never know.
But, like Boston, great start. Lots of goals scored. Who knows? It's a long year still.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyle, do you have any thoughts on the Avs start so far? Have you been able to watch any of the games?
I have a little bit, sir. I'm just looking at who was the worst face-off team last year, and I can't find it quick enough.
Got all distracted.
Yeah, start talking about face-offs, and I just off in my own little world.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, Avs, they're doing decent. As well as I can hope for right now. I can't even remember who they played. Oh, they lost against Winnipeg yesterday. I did not watch that game, but I watched some highlights and a couple not shaky goals by Georgiev, but definitely interested to see how he continues this season after a hot start. He actually didn't let in a even strength 5-on-5 goal until that game against Winnipeg, so it's a good start for him. Ugly loss to Calgary last week, which kind of sucked. But then we followed that up with a big win against Minnesota. So pretty solid so far. Really don't have too much to say about the players on the team. I think everyone's just playing pretty all right. So we'll see how it continues. Except for McDavid, sorry. Except for McKinnon. McKinnon's playing pretty decent too. Big fan. McCarr can step it up a little bit. He's got to score 30 goals for me this year in fantasy, so I'll be waiting for that. Has he scored a goal yet? I think he scored at least one. I am
might just have one.
Nope, not yet. He has 5 assists.
5 assists? Not a guy. We like that. He'll get 100 points too, hopefully. Yeah. So, not much to add.
Fair enough. Yeah, and we kind of briefly talked about it, about Canucks facing Minnesota, them finally getting their first win. But they started out 0-3 before today with, I believe they led in 20 goals against. in those 3 games. 7 goals against, 7 goals, and then 6 goals. That's pretty, well, bad to say the least. For a team, that over the last few years has been really known for being kind of a defensively minded team, pretty responsible. And this year, it's not had the best start, that's for sure.
And their defense hasn't even really changed that much. Losing Talbot obviously was a big blow. Who else did they lose? Fiala up front, that was kind of the main one. But I don't know, not enough for it to be this much of a drastic downturn.
Yeah, a similar maybe issue. I haven't been able to watch the games, obviously, but could be a similar issue to the Canucks where they're just defensive lapses in their own zone and just careless mistakes. I know Fleury hasn't been great, but just from randomly seeing a few highlights here and there, I know Fleury is not the full problem. It's, the people in front of him as well. So, we'll have to see with them. Small sample size again.
I think Fleury's first game of the year, his expected goals against was, I think he was like -6, but he only had like 6 goals scored on him. So that means that like he should have probably stopped every single one of those goals, just based off of like the strength of shot, like shot opportunity and stuff. So
that's yikes. Not a great start for him.
No, but also it was interesting to watch because I watched a little bit of Colorado, Minnesota before I had to take off. But that game was very sloppy defensively by Minnesota, like just like missing checks and stuff. So, but that's stuff that can get fixed with a bit more practice. So. If I was them, I wouldn't be too worried unless they keep on giving up 6 goals a game.
Pew, pew. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, why don't we move into our fantasy discussion now? So we're just going to go over a quick recap of what happened in week 1 of our fantasy league. I'll get you guys to give us your thoughts of how your teams have done so far. And then we'll look at the different players that have been picked up and dropped, and you guys can give your reasoning for why you chose those guys. So first off, week 1, our winners were Mikey, Corey, and Rayhan coming out on top. Unfortunately, Max, Kyle, and I are down in the basement already. Not the best start, especially for me personally. But now we're into week 2. Things are looking a little bit differently. We'll get into our week 2 current scores in a second, but to start with, why don't we go to Max first and give us some details on how week 1 went for you? Any surprising players, anybody that was really disappointing so far?
Oh man, week 1 is always a tough one for fantasy because you have no idea what teams are gonna start like, how they're gonna perform, different lines, new coaches. I think we obviously just talked about it, but I have Fleury on my team, who in, I believe, he didn't even finish the 2 starts. He played 4 periods for me, and he was a -2.7, which is really frustrating to watch as he just keeps getting goals against. Really tanked my first match, but I was never going to win that. I kind of got killed by Rayhan. Overall, wasn't a bad first week. Got to know the players a bit. Kyle, how about you?
Or players I was disappointed with and stuff?
Yeah, you go. Yeah, just one.
Evan Bouchard was it? So far, he hasn't panned out, but I'm gonna hang on to him because I think eventually they will get play time. But the fact that he's not on the power play is fucking maddening. Freaking maddening. So yes. Super happy with Jake Gensel. He carried my team, but everyone else is pretty average. So hoping for a little bit of a bounce back week this week. So far, I am up 52 to 85 or 52 to 40 to Mikey. So a little bit of a turnaround, but then now Gensel's injured, and
I was just looking at it, and he
now
is
Taze is
day-to-day.
injured. And now Noah Hannafin's injured, so
Ooh.
Jesus.
Jeez.
so it's not ideal over in the minor tunes.
Awesome. And Kyle, you're facing off against Corey this week. So Corey, why don't you give us your rundown on your team so far?
Week 1 was good. This week, not so much. Getting crushed by Max right now. I thought Zibanejad would be enough. He started out the week with another great game. I thought I was all happy. I was like, Zibanejad's coming back. He always kills Max whenever we play. But no, my team's not even doing that bad. It's basically just Max's team is
Max
just going off on me this week.
We'll come back to Max's week this week because it is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel bad because Corey would be literally almost winning any other match, but he's facing.
Yeah, isn't that the worst when you're having like a really good week, but then it's the person you're playing is just having like the week of their life. That's what's happening right now.
That's this week right now for Max.
He's got almost double my score. I got 52. Max has 93, almost double. But it's right. I would be basically winning any other match.
It always works like that. It always works like that, where where the guy you're playing just goes off, and then your team goes off too. But
I know
it's like lose.
I know I'm wasting all these good performances for my players are being wasted because now they're all gonna go cold next week. So it's always how it works. They always go cold next week, and then it's 2 losses in a row, and it just kills you.
The law of averages, especially because your team did really well the week before too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm looking at my team here now, and my week 1 performance was just dreadful. I didn't even have a chance to beat Mikey. It was pretty bad. I have Miller on my team, so if you're wondering why I was ranting about him so much earlier, it makes it worse that I own him in both fantasy leagues this year. My Washington guys were a disappointment week 1. Kuznetsov is now suspended, so that didn't help things. It was just
that slash to the face was brutal.
I can't believe he only got one game, but that's where we are. Maybe he'll be back in the lineup next week. Currently, it's a very tight one between me and Rayhan. We're only about a point apart, I think. I have Ehlers who went down. That hurt as an injury. Matthews has been slow. I mean, he finally got an assist today, but just not performing like my first overall pick should be performing. But other than that, things are improving a little bit. I've had a bit of a steady incline, so I'm trying not to pull a last year Kyle and panic too much, but we're hoping.
Oh, trust me, it's so easy.
Go better.
So easy to panic.
Speaking of adding and dropping, we'll go to Max first because he's having, like we said, the week of his life.
Yeah.
A little bit to do with pickups, but mostly his main players. I mean, why don't you talk about who you added and dropped?
Oh, man. Well...
And just your team.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do too much heading into this week. I mean, I drafted Marchand, as much as I kind of hate the player, but I drafted him, so obviously I had a free roster spot, which I used on Nichushkin.
That was a good
which
pickup.
I kind of, in a way, stole from Kyle, but hey, he hesitated, so... It was
I'll own that.
Yeah. I thought, he'd be a really good pickup for the time being with Landeskog out. But he is absolutely killing it right now. He's on the top power play. I think top line, second line, I could be wrong there. But either way, he's getting it done on all parts. And, I can't wait to have him for, the next little bit here.
I'm mad I canceled my claim for him now. Rookie move.
Same.
All right, let's move up the list here. So the next transaction we had was myself. So I got rid of Kako. He didn't make it a week on my team. I don't think anyone is surprised. And I added Kempe from LA. And he's been decent. I mean, LA got murdered today, so fair enough. He's not going to do anything. But I'm hoping top line, top power play will make him a more consistent pickup going forward.
And some shorthanded points here and there too.
Yeah, those are always nice. All right. Our next transaction was from Mikey, who unfortunately is not here tonight, but he added Husso and dropped Norris. Anybody have any thoughts on, I mean, probably just mainly getting rid of Norris that soon?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a very Mikey move, in my opinion.
He's not here to defend himself.
I was going to say, can't even defend himself.
I can rip into him. No, I mean, Norris is a great player. Obviously, a very slow start. Even with Ottawa themselves, I know a few of their players haven't had the greatest starts over there, but I think that's a player that you definitely should have maybe possibly held on to. Mm-hmm.
But he only had 2 goalies, so I mean...
Picking up Husso, I think, will be a really good ad for him, so...
Yeah.
Not much you can really go wrong with there.
All right, we'll give Mikey a pass this time. Good job, Mikey. All right, next on the list here.
I gotta say, I personally do really like that move by Mikey.
All right.
I don't know much about Josh Norris, but I think Husso's going to have a good year.
Yeah.
I think we do have to point out, though, that I believe it would have been last week where we were talking about our fantasy teams and Mikey thinking he had the best goalie tandem with Campbell and Vasilevsky.
Now he has the best goalie trio.
Yeah, now he's the best goalie trio.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Yeah, Vasilevsky rocking a minus 0.4 so far this week. Oof. Not off to a great start, but I think that's only one game, so you never know. Tight match with you, Kyle.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right, going over to Kyle's pickup now. This was an interesting one. I know we're curious to hear your thoughts on this one. D'Angelo, you added.
Yeah, I was thinking Philly was going to be garbage, and then Philly started out pretty all right, and I remember he treated you really well last year when he was on Carolina, so I'm hoping that he does the same thing for me this year. And I had some, obviously have some injuries on the back end, so I'm hoping that he keeps on producing and can fill in or possibly even replace Hannafin or Bouchard. So they're all battling for a spot on my team. It's a pretty prestigious place to be. So we're in good shape.
Nice.
Man, yeah, you have so many injuries all of a sudden.
Dude, yeah, like my phone was just going off today because not only this team, that's like I had 3 from this team that popped up today. I think I have 2 from my other league as well.
Yikes. Unlucky.
Not a great time.
And our last pickup in the league so far was just this morning. It got added, and that was Forsling added in exchange for dropping Kyrou from Max. And I mean, fair play with Ekblad being out. I think that kind of explains it, but give us your details.
I mean, that was pretty much my whole detail for that. I do specifically remember, well, man, I don't know what episode that was, but when we were doing our dark horses for fantasy defenseman, and that was my pick. Obviously didn't predict Ekblad going down with an injury. But I think he's going to be, he's almost going to be the main man over there right now. He's already played about 27 minutes since Ekblad leaving, each night. So I think with a pretty good Florida team, he's going to be a pretty good ad, so I'll take it.
And important to note that Mikey did also put a claim in for Forsling. Unfortunately, though, Max was higher on the waiver wire, so he beat him out. But Mikey's a little bit disappointed to miss out on Forsling for sure.
I knew he'd put a claim in. That's why I needed to also do so.
Corey, you haven't made any moves yet. You're happy with your team, obviously.
No, I'm just being loyal. You know me.
He wants that loyalty award.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's right.
You don't want to be like me.
No.
Thanks.
No. That was such a hard no.
Appreciate. Yeah. I think that pretty much wraps it up. I don't have much else to talk about.
Cool. I mean, very early in the season, so we'll definitely be updating our fantasy teams as it goes on because there will be lots of changes, I'm sure. But yeah, other than that, I think that wraps us up for this episode. Again, our fan question, we mentioned it earlier. It is, which reverse retro jersey is your favorite? The post is already up on our Instagram, so go take a look at all the pictures and let us know which one you like, which one you don't like, and why. We like hearing your guys' thoughts always. Other than that, we'll see you next week. Don't forget to follow at Chel Stars, rate us, give us a review, and yeah, have a good one.